weren't for IDD, every married woman in Britain would have to work as a telephone operator just to handle the number of overseas calls we make today. Or I suppose every married man. And it's computers like these, working away quietly behind the scenes, that make BT's modern network possible.
They think they're all right. You see, about 30 seconds.
This may look like a space centre, but it's actually British Telecom's Network Management Centre at Oswestry, where Steve Heap explains what they're doing.
Well, the basic aim of the centre is to monitor continually the performance of the digital network. We receive measurements from every exchange, every digital exchange, every 15 minutes into the centre. What we do is process it, display it on the screens up here, and we can tell from these displays how well calls are being handled in the network, how many calls are being offered to different exchanges, how many calls are failing. And what our basic aim is to get as many of those calls to complete as possible.
What is it telling me now, incidentally?
It's telling you now that there's a large demand to a holiday company in London, in fact, that are selling cut-price holidays, which we have deliberately, again, modified the network so that those calls aren't blocking up the rest of the calls into London. And so that's one specific holiday company that's causing us, or would normally be causing problems in the network, but we've overcome that.
So how does this Dr. Strangelove room compare with other nations' management centres?
Well, I think in terms of the computer support tools, which really are the basis of this centre, it's the most advanced centre in the world, I would say, at this stage.
So it's 3 cheers for British boffins, is it?
Oh, I think so, yes, because the software in the system was written by our own staff in BT, and it's really a world beater.
Alfie Kane, DGM in Manchester. Now, digital exchanges, which have had their teething problems, are going in at the rate of a couple a day, I believe.
Yes, that's...
without problems?
Well, no, not without problems. There are teething problems. It's a very complex process. Putting in digital exchanges while you keep the telephone network going is a bit like changing a jumbo engine in mid-Atlantic. And you can't just simply stop the system. Changing a jumbo engine, you land the aircraft and put it in the hangar and it's out of service and you change the engine. Changing a telephone exchange, putting in System X, has got to be done without you losing service for 1 second. So no, I wouldn't say there's no problems, but also there's a remarkable success, and very, very infrequently are our customers left without service.
The first step in switching over to a new digital exchange is wiring up every street address with its correct number. Brian Prismal has found a way to transfer a lot of this work from the exchange to this GIF centre at Maidenhead. Now, your invention here has earned you a national award.
It has.
What, in fact, does it do?
Well, traditionally, when we built an exchange, we had to run each subscriber's connection one at a time. On a 27,000 line exchange, this was very time-consuming, and we took up a lot of space. Nowadays, we can run them in bunches, in multiples, and each wire has a little label on it which identifies the destination. It tells you where to connect the wire, and of course the wire is just the right length for the job. So instead of running them one at a time, we now run them 200 at a time. Saves a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Why did it take you 34 years to work this out?
You've hit me with one there, haven't you? I don't know what the answer to that one is.
London claims to have its own very particular problems, but how do these affect British Telecom? To get an impartial answer, we thought we'd ask a Scot working for BT in London. Alan Drew's main problem as customer services manager was capacity.
We don't have enough capacity in our exchanges and enough capacity under the ground in the cables that you see that give customer service. We're rapidly trying to enhance that, but it's a big job.
Is this because BT has been too successful?
I think you've seen the growth in the economy over the last 5 years, and the southeast especially, people say it's getting overheated. That has come on us with incredible demands for telephone service and the services that go with it. The information revolution, information technology really taking a hold, demand for services has really blossomed in areas where we didn't think it would happen.
So you can't keep pace?
Up until now, no, that's true. We hope to change that, of course, but you don't change it overnight. Last year I had 15,000 customers waiting for service that we couldn't satisfy. So there is a definite case there for dissatisfaction on their part.
And today?
Today it's down to 4,000.
Well done.
Well, and by the end of the year it will be gone.
And you'll be glad to know he was right. What he promised, BT has delivered. Since filming that last year, the waiting lists have effectively disappeared. How good the BT phone system is depends upon how good the network is. That's the point made by Mike Bett.
The core of our business is a network. My most important task at the moment is to get investment in that network going to the point where we deliver a network which is low cost, high quality, high functionality, which is jargon, but what it means is that all sorts of services that our customers want, those services will be delivered by that network. After all, if you think about us carefully, we're about the most important company operating in this country at the moment. There's no other company upon which so many other companies and people depend.
If people are depending on you, you need to deliver. Chris Masters explains how these computers give the operator access to virtually every telephone listing in the UK.
The systems here, Alan, are actually providing the service to our directory enquiries bureau. The young ladies who you ring on 192 when you want to find a number, they're actually using our computers here to help give you your number.
This is why they can give me the number before I've got it out of my mouth sometimes.
That's right. The response time from these systems is about 1.5 seconds.
Now, I know you're the proud owner, but I have to tell you, it still looks a bit like a washing machine sales room to me.
Shall we say they cost a little bit more than the average washing machine?
1.5 seconds away from the answers to these computers is Sheffield Directory Inquiries and my guide, Chris Pearce. So what is happening here?
Right, the staff here are taking directory inquiry calls direct from customers, covering an area just over 500,000 people can ring up here and get directory inquiries.
Can you get through? That's the thing. That's always been the worry, hasn't it?
Most occasions...
Will these girls answer me?
Yes, most occasions. Over 80% of our customers get through in 15 seconds. And once they're answered, the transaction to find the number that's required is 35, 38 seconds. So in a minute, from start to finish, customer's gone away with the whole lot.
Fantastic.
In most cases.
How many other nations would have a facility like this?
In Europe, there's no one else with a database or an integrated system as big as this. This is the largest one. And even in America, for example, if you're in Dallas and you want a Chicago number, you've got to ring Chicago and ask the operator there to search it for you.
So somebody wanting a number calls in, they reach you. What now happens?
Well, we ask them what name is it for. So if we then get the name off the customer, put the information into the computer and ask it to search for the exact information what we've included on the screen.
Well, find me a Whicker in Sheffield.
Right. WHIC, it only needs the first 4 letters of the name involved. And straight away it's saying there are no listings for any name beginning with WHIC in Sheffield.
Keep looking then.
Right. I'll try Birmingham. Just a moment. That's another big area. Whicker. There's one listing.
Who is that imposter?
So if I wanted to narrow it down anymore, I could just put the initial A in as well, which then only brings up one A Whicker in that particular area.
Your average member of the public thinks we can find something with a crystal ball, and if we don't find it under what they've given, they start getting a bit irate and abusive. Quite a bit of language comes out now and again, and you get called everything from a fox to a duck, really.
But I don't understand it because it's so quick now, isn't it?
Oh,
when
it
you
is,
started,
yeah.
It must have been quite a long
That's
process.
Right, yeah. When I started here, it was actually your paper directories, and it was one hell of a task looking through them. You used to get filthy as well. But the problem is, you see, things have got better. Our handling time is now only 35 seconds per call, and you just can't win. The quicker you make it, the quicker you're expected to be. I mean, I'm one of the senior operators here, and I would take calls from my colleagues here if they couldn't handle a customer. And I then have to deal with them if they get too irate.
How do you handle it then?
As cool as possible.
You learn. Well, I mean, what's happened to you? Have you crossed words with the public?
Well, I've had to bite my tongue a couple of times. Well,
Yes.
more than a couple of times. You just have to keep your cool, count to 10, close your eyes, go out, have a drink, and just come back and think. Because if you don't, it's the next customer that gets it. So you have to just really, just keep your cool. But sometimes you wouldn't believe some of the things they come out with are just so silly.
Like what?
I was on to the lady and she asked for the town Woven. So I put Woven into the locality and it gave me nothing at all on the computer. I asked her if she could give me another town that was nearby or anything like that. She says, I only know that it's in Scotland. So I said, well, I do need a town, you know, Scotland isn't much use to me really on the computer. She says, in the back of my coat, love, it says Woven in Scotland. So,
Director, switch town, please. Sheffield, may I have the name, please?
If people are depending on you, you need to deliver. That's why the technology has to be in place to provide the service. Technology like this. Just a lot of old washing machines to me, I suppose, but to you, a digital exchange which delivers calls faster and with higher quality. But as Sandra said, the quicker you get, the quicker you're expected to be. In other words, the customer's expectations keep rising. And why shouldn't they? It's all part of the challenge of change. Much of the answer will be supplied, of course, by new equipment, but the most important part will come from people like